Hi everyone. I am filming this right now from my home office. And I put office in air quotes because my office is actually just like a tiny little desk at the top of my stairs. And I'm filming from this location right now, not because it's the most beautiful space in my house, but because I want to talk to you about this notion that James Clear calls one space, one use. Um, and the idea behind one space, one use is really the idea that our environment is full of cues for different kinds of behavior, right? And I think that one really clear example of that is something that I experienced a lot early in the pandemic as I was working from home and as I was working with teenagers, my own and my clients, who were schooling from home. And the problem that we saw at that time was that suddenly kids are being asked to have this new behavior doing school, right? And doing schoolwork from a space, in many cases their bedrooms, that they had, previously associated with sleep or playing on their phones. And so that environment, their bedroom, is cueing them to have these behaviors that were really not conducive to the new behavior that they were trying to develop, getting their schoolwork done. And so one space, one use is a way of engineering our environment so that we are sort of putting boundaries around what behaviors we want to be cued in what environment. So for instance, in this space, in our little home office here, I use this space to work on my business. That's all I do here. My kids use this space to do their schoolwork. That's the only purpose of this space for us in this house. In fact, I won't even bring my phone here most of the time because I don't even want to be tempted. And so sitting here at this little desk with the little lights on that you can't really see, sometimes I'll light a candle, I have my water, my tea. This space is my cozy little space for working on my business. And this is my kid space for working on schoolwork. And that's what this space cues our bodies to do, cues our brains to do, right? Now, I wish that I had a home office. That would be really nice if we could have a whole separate space. But the truth is, lots of us we don't have a home office. We don't have a whole room that we can dedicate just to doing schoolwork or, working from home. And so there's ways to get creative. We used a little nook at the top of our stairs. You might not have a little nook that you might not have an office. You might not have a little nook or a little space where you can put a desk. And so there's other ways that we can be creative about using our environment to promote certain behaviors. And so two suggestions that I share with my clients are using different rooms of your house for certain tasks, or even using different furniture for certain tasks. So I'll often suggest to families that they use the dining room or kitchen table for the space for their teenager to do their work. Because dining room tables or kitchen tables aren't usually spaces that kind of cue us to play on our phone or watch TV, because most of us don't have TVs in those spaces or aren't used to like sitting at the dining room table watching TV, right? And so that's one suggestion, is to use a space like the dining room for completing work. We can also just use furniture in different ways. So one example is, in my house, we have a reading chair, and that chair is just for reading. We don't bring our phones to that space. That's just like our cozy little chair where we do reading. So again, you don't have to have a home office. You don't have to have a separate dedicated space for your kids to do their schoolwork. You can be creative in the little space that you have. And I've lived in lots of little tiny spaces to create boundaries around the kinds of behaviors that you want to promote. So I would love to know what questions you all have about how you use your environment to promote habits, good habits and behaviors. And I would also love to know creative ways that you found to produce an environment that really helps your kids be productive and develop good habits. So tell me all about it.